What's going on, everybody? Welcome back if you're here before. I'm NeonMushroom. We're playing some Magic the Gathering Online Premodern because I wanted to test a new deck, a deck that I might, even if I like it enough, just randomly bring to our championship this coming Saturday. And this is Domain Control, nothing you've seen on the channel before, nothing I've seen until I was trolling MTG Top 8, and I looked at this event from Portugal. I think it was a 1 or 2, it was a 2-star event, I believe. And Henrique Martin. This is a deck that was played by Henrique Martins, and I'm just going to go out on a limb and, since I haven't seen this before, say it was maybe even architected by Henrique Martins. What are we looking at? Domain Control. It means the same thing back in 90s Magic as it does now. We are trying to leverage having each of the basic land types. We'll get to why in a moment, but we have some things that enable that. Mainly Rampant Growth. We're leaning very heavy into green. We've got 7 forests and 4 green fetch lands, so that's good for 11 green sources right off rip. And the Rampant Growth is going to let us get whatever land, basic land that we don't have. We also have Chromatic Sphere to help us cast that. Say if we have a random hand that has like Island, Mountain, Rampant Growth, we're going to have a higher likelihood of being able to convert the Rampant Growth into the actual source we're looking for. We've got some utility artifacts like Phyrexian Furnace, Tsabo's Web, good removal and Swords to Plowshares, and then we're kind of getting into why we're dipping outside of the normal blue and white colors for control, because Pernicious Deed is one hell of a reason to be in a control deck. This is typically played in the rock, but it just wraths the board. Everything that's not a land, X or less, is going to get wrathed, which is a very good reason to be in green and black, but green and black aren't blue and white. We're also going to have trouble with blue. We got I want to cover the not domain stuff first. Factor Fiction, Wrath of Guys, Decree of Justice, and then Krosan Tusker actually gets any basic land. So it's going to do the same thing as Rampant Growth and make sure to fix our mana. These 8 cards here all actually have the domain keyword. So what we've got here is our counter magic. Evasive Action is a blue and a colorless domain. Target counter spell unless its controller pays 1 for each basic land type among lands you control. At worst, this thing is going to operate as a force spike. 9 times out of 10, it's probably going to act as like a miscalculation, counter unless you pay 2. A good amount of the time, it'll be mana leak. And then in the late game, it's going to play a lot like counter spell, counter unless you pay 4 or 5, which should be quite good as long as our mana functions. Then we got a bunch of one-ofs that are I'm very interested in trying to see how they work. Collapsing Borders is a weird one. 4 mana domain. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player gains 1 life for each basic land among the lands they control. This is a red card, by the way. And then this enchantment deals 3 to that player. So if everything's humming along, it's a win condition. We gain 5, we we take 3, but our opponent, in most situations, will gain 1 or 2 and take 3. So it'll do the thing. We've also got Collective Restraint. Creatures can't attack you unless their controller plays X for each creature they control attacking, where X is the number of basic land types among lands you control. We've got Global Rain. Each player chooses from the lands they control a land of each basic type and sacrifices the rest. So say you're playing against Shrimp or Phyrexian Dreadnought, they might keep a factory and an island. Not that that's good there. A better example is Stasis. If you can resolve this against Stasis, it's a one-sided Armageddon. And then we've got Allied Strategies. Domain, target player draws a card for each basic land type they control. It's a draw 5 for 5. Pretty solid. Should work nicely with the 4 Factor Fictions. Our sideboard full of sideboard cards. Notably, we're hiding the 4th Pernicious Deed in here. A bunch of Annul, Red Blast, Sphere of Law, E-Tutor, the good stuff. There's a weird one that I don't know if I'm ever going to side in. There's just a Sliver Queen in the sideboard. I didn't change this deck at all. There just happens to be a Sliver Queen in the sideboard, and I'm going to play this deck unchanged into these games. That's everything you need to know about the deck. Let's hop into some games. All right, we found an opponent. If you're watching this on Fluorescent, we had an opponent before. We gained domain immediately, and then they disconnected. So we're going to hope this opponent sticks around, because I think our deck is like, I don't know how good it is, but we're going to be on the play. This hand has Forest. We can get Plains, Rampant Growth, Island, Rampant Growth, Mountain, eventually find Swamp. I'm not shipping a hand that can make domain. Also, I've got Chromatic Sphere, so that seems great. All right, let's go. I'll do it backwards. I'm going to go Windswept Heath, fetch for a Plains. Because our domain is so unusually important, I don't ever want to risk getting stifled. So I'm going to fetch as aggressively as possible. There's a chance it winds up not being correct to do so, but I think we're going to do it. Here is a Furnace, and I will pass. Tap Treetop Village? Sure, you got it. All right, I'm going to take an on-tap and a draw. Decree? Sure. I think the first thing we want is a island because we have an Evasive Action in our hand, so we're going to Rampant Growth for Island. Bop. Comes into play tapped and pass. We don't love replacing our land drop next turn with Rampant Growth. I mean, we're gonna if we have to, but it'd be really nice if we could go land drop plus Rampant Growth. Bonus points if that land drop is either a swamp or a mountain. That would be ideal. Rishid import? Sure. Lock me out of green? You could do that. I wonder if they know to lock me out of green. Nope, they're gonna lock me out of blue, which is like honestly kind of ideal. Take a draw, hopefully it's a land. It is. It's not an off-colored land like we wanted, but we'll play Flooded Strand. We could actually wait to Rampant Growth here and hold up Evasive Action, and I think that might be okay. Because, well, I guess if a Terravore comes down, it's not scary yet, but we don't currently have the answer wrapped up for Terravore. That said, I think I'm not going to pass up on the chance to just like get more lands out of my deck. We're going to Rampant Growth. Let's get a mountain. Now, do we Chromatic Sphere? I think so. Do we want a second island? Probably, although this Decree of Justice is in hand. And white lets us make stuff. I think we'll actually wait. I don't know what I want yet. F Twitch K. I feel like domain with natural balance should be a thing. Could be. Maybe it's something with brewing. There's a lot of really weird domain cards in this deck. I went over it in the deck tech at the beginning. They're all one-ofs, but they're all very interesting, and I want to draw them and try them out and see how they work. Everyone loves Neon videos here in Brazil. Well, that's awesome. I appreciate that. Stoked people are enjoying the content for sure. All right, we're gonna untap. Rishan Import probably hits Forest here. It's the most uniquest land, but they're hitting Island anyway. Sure. I mean, I kind of just disagree with that choice, but maybe they're worried about something that's not gonna happen. That could be the case. We're gonna tap this mountain and play a Chromatic Sphere, and then we're just gonna pass. If they continue to do nothing for too long, we'll try to leverage a Decree of Justice. Evasive Action is basically counterspell right now, which is really good. If they start attacking with Treetop Village, that's like a little bit scary because we'll eventually have to find swords to Plowshares, but right now I'm not sweating it. A card I really like to find is the 5-mana white Armageddon effect for Domain. That would be really cool because they've got a lot of utility lands. Seems good. Right now we're just kind of looking for Fact or Fiction, or the big 5-mana draw card for each basic land you control. Notably, we're also missing Swamp, so we're not fully domained quite yet. Mox Diamond? Absolutely. Pitch Treva's Runes? Why not? 1, 2, 3, 4. Deep Analysis? Yeah, let's counter that. Fetch. Grab a blue source. Evasive Action, target that. Tap, tap. This Phyrexian Furnace will chew through everything. Activate it, exile the bottom, please. Untap, draw for turn. Ooh, another Evasive Action. Go ahead and exile that Deep Analysis, please, opponent. And then we can make a 4/4 here. Don't think that's very good. We're gonna sit here and try to find card draw. In a pinch, we can bust our Furnace, but I don't think we actually want to do that. I'm fairly certain Terravore is going to be a part of this matchup. Good chance that I'm supposed to start furnacing myself just to make sure Terravore stays as small as possible, maybe even at some point be able to kill one just with the Furnace. I'm a big fan of main deck. I had a little chat on my last video that I did with Crucible of Words, and we both had a little chat about like how main deckable Furnace feels in this format at the moment. Tap for 1, 2, 3 for another Deep Analysis. Yep, they're just, so this looks like Quiet Oath, and they're just naturally drawing their Deep Analysis. I probably should have countered that. I'm kind of sweating Armageddon as something they could have at some point. So I'm just gonna Furnace that analysis out of play. All right, looks like they're missing their land drop too. That's pretty great. We'll untap and draw. Rampant Growth, I'll take it. Let's go ahead and exile the bottom, eat the bottom. And then we're going to tap here and here, and I'm gonna cast Rampant Growth. We'll grab a Swamp. Exodia, the Forbidden One, has been summoned. We've also got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. So we can make 4 1/1s as well, which is like not unreasonable. Last Saturday, I played with your Merfolk list. How did it go? That's awesome. That was one of the decks I played against Crucible of Words in our collaboration video. Games 2 and game 3 really kind of, it all fell apart when I mulliganed to 4. But I'm such a huge fan of that Merfolk opposition deck. Opposition deck feels very good. I'm probably also supposed to cycle through this Chromatic Sphere now that I have perfect mana. Could not be playing lands because holding Armageddon. True. That's why I'm also holding Evasive Action. I'll call the herd. Yeah, we don't care about a 3/3. We will eventually, but at the moment we don't. Okay, I think we're going to fetch first. I know I'm going to want a second plane, so let's get it out of our deck. And then let's crack this now just for like a green. All right, Allied Strategies. Target player draws a card for each basic land type they control. That's quite good. All right, let's go eat the bottom. That's a Fact or Fiction as well, which is pretty good. But I think we're going to cast our Allied Strategies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Allied Strategies me. I'll draw 5, play a land for turn. That's a Pernicious Deed. That's quite good. We're going to pass the turn. Unfortunately, 1/3. Yeah, the deck is pretty hard to play. Oh, R. Thanks. Also, thanks R100 for the first time chat, buddy. Hope you're enjoying the Premodern. Kind of miss more creatures to activate the tricks. Yeah, Merfolk is definitely creature light. There are some fish we could be playing, but as you add fish, you start to lose like money cards like Gush, Daze, Opposition, Winter Orb, Curiosity, cards I'm very much interested in playing in the deck. Windswept Heath, sure. Fetch, yeah. Plains, crack for 3. It'd be weird not to. Now, what I would really hate is if our opponent had a Mox Diamond, because then they could go Port us plus Armageddon. If they do that, that's a bummer. Yeah, they hit the island. That's fine. I can't stop you. All right, please do not play a second diamond and Armageddon us. That would make us very, very upset. 1, 2, 3. Is it just a Call of the Herd? It's a Terravore. Okay, this is amazing. This Pernicious Deed is about to be insane. My turn, on tap draw. We'll start to hold, we'll see if we can hold our lands. First, we're gonna make this Terravore a touch tinier. Then for us to play and crack Deed on 3 is we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. So play and crack Deed on 3 costs 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we can hold up 3, and we can hold up 3 with 2 of them being blue. We're gonna lose our Furnace if we do it that way. But I don't see a world where it makes sense to not do that. We're definitely playing our lands out. Alternatively, I could kind of keep just grinding. I don't want to lose a bunch of life for no reason though. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna fetch. We're gonna grab, let's say, another forest, and let's go 1, 2, 3, and play Pernicious Deed. And let's crack the deed for 1, 2, 3, done. Wipe the board. And now we can hold up our counterspell through Rishadan Port, which feels very good. Recently started enjoying your YouTube content, so I thought I'd check out the Twitch. Oh, thanks, buddy. I'm glad you're liking the YouTube content. Effectively Fluorescent is a stream re-upload channel that I do a decent amount of work to try to make the videos watchable as standalone videos, but most of that content is just recorded here, but hopefully you're enjoying it. We're activating the Treetop Village. Now, this is fine. We're going to take the 3. Next turn, we're highly likely to just deploy the Pernicious Deed and then sit on it so our opponent can't like get in. All right, their Terravore, their 26, 27 land deck is not making land drops, which is interesting, but feels good. So we're gonna tap for this many, and we're gonna play our Pernicious Deed and just leave that in play. Once we get some more card advantage, we're probably gonna play this Collapsing Borders and just try to use it as a win con. Or if our opponent keeps dirtling and doing nothing, we will inevitably just use this Decree of Justice to win the game. For now, we're passing though. 1, 2, 3, Terravore. I don't see why not, to be honest. Yeah, we'll just let that go. They're passing. We're just gonna Factor Fic at their end step. Factor Fic, show me a swords. There it is. I'm probably gonna take whichever pile has the Evasive Action in it, to be honest. All right, yeah, we're gonna take the Evasive Action and the Tsabo's Web. They've got a Port and a Treetop Village in play. I think this game's over. The opponent probably should concede. I don't think they're gonna. We'll untap, we'll draw. Now we're gonna start playing out our lands because it does not matter. Forest, we'll pop the deed now on 1, 2. Any black spells in hand? No. 3. Done. Goodbye, Terravore. 1, 2. Here is my Tsabo's Web. I will cycle it to draw a card. You will never resolve another spell again. Here's my Krosan Tusker. Don't think I'm ever casting that simply because our opponent has swords that I don't want them to convert. But we're in a good spot right now, chat. Fairy. How do I pronounce your name? I'm gonna say Fairy. That way I don't mess that up. I think to remove 1 Curiosity in opposition to add 2 more Merfolk. I could see that. The deck or opposition does sometimes feel like too many opposition. And then the Curiosities can get you into a little bit of trouble. Mox Diamond, I could counter this. I think I don't care about it. They pitch Treetop Village, that's fine. Passing to me. All right, Krosan Tusker, do your thing. Could have Factor Fictioned as well, but my hand is so dense with cards that I just don't think I need to. We'll get an island. We'll draw a card. We'll untap. We'll draw for turn. Wasteland is so bad against my deck. I just realized that that's the case. That's so good. Here's an island. I have 8 in hand, so I'm pretty comfortable just letting them like kill this with something. Here is my Collapsing Borders. Go ahead. Show me your Naturalizer Rare Revelation that I'm sure you just like have in hand right now. All right, nope, they didn't remove it. All right, take damage. It's basically gain 2, take 3, because they have 1, 2, and so yeah, they're gonna take 3 and gain 2. So this is an 18 turn clock, but it's also gonna gain me 2 life a turn because I have domain. Green, blue, Quiet Speculation. I don't know if I care about that. Let's do this. Let's see how this Factor Fiction turns out and then make a decision. Factor Fiction. If I get another permission spell, I'm likely to counter it. There's no permission spells, so I think they could get Volcanic Spite, and that would be a little bit annoying. Although we're at the point where I might just hardcast Decree of Justice for like a bunch. Collective Restraint, Chromatic Sphere versus these. I'll take the smaller pile. Any order. Let's see, how much can I decree for? 4 is the base. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then 2 for each angel. 1 angel, 2 angel, 3 angel. I play a land. I can make 4 angels and then hold up counter magic. This is fine. There's the Ray of Revelation. That's fine. I don't care about that. Okay, they didn't get the Volcanic Spite, so there's actually a chance I'm just supposed to cycle this thing. I think that's all we're doing. I'm not going to get complicated. I'm just going to play this Plains. I've got 2 Decrees. So if they Volcanic Spite the first one, we'll just hard cast the second one. 1, 2. So we can make oh, I have to discard. Ew. Chromatic Sphere. So we can make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Put them on a 2-turn clock. Also, this is going to deal damage to them every turn. So that's like not nothing. Kind of cool. I'm really interested in this deck because the basic lands I use are so fucking shiny and pretty. And this deck plays so many basic lands. What if I played this? What if I played this at the championships? Chat, would you like to see me record a championships event? Effectively the Michigan Regional with this. Is that a thing? All right, you've got a gemstone mine. That's fine. Only if the basics are mismatched. Scryhard, go back to the Discord group and start spreading that filth. Also, this deck with all the old border basics would go insane. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, probably doesn't matter, but I really didn't like that pile from your opponent. LOL, feels like you could have made 2 piles that only have 1 life card in each. Yeah, I agree. They're making an elephant. I don't care. You got an elephant. Are we done? Okay, let's see if we can get our opponent to concede. 1, 2, 3, cycle. All right, 1. Oh, okay. 2, 3, dude. Lots of dudes. So many dudes. Draw a card. On tap. Gain 2 life off of my red card. Draw a Wrath of God. What if I just cast this for the bad manners? That's 2 bad manners, right? Windswept Heath. Go to combat. I don't care about no elephant. Full send. You can't stop them all. Who would win? 9 dudes or an elephant? All right, opponent goes to 9. Then this collapsing borders will bring them to 8. And then I think we're done here. 9 dudes versus 1 elephant. New Twitter debate. If the dudes are unarmed, no chance. That elephant wins every time. As it stands right now, I don't have to do anything for them to die. They need a swords or something because I can attack them for 7 and then the collapsing borders kills them. So they need to save a green mana for the Ray of Revelation. Volcanic Spray. Do I just counter? No. Yeah, that resolves. I'm going to do it again. Combat. Yeah, I'll take 3. I am at 10, but really I'm at 12 because of my red card. I just realized it's hidden behind me. It's the collapsing borders card. Opponent plays a port. That's fine. If they use it, it won't untap. Okay, I'll let you go to the end step. Fetch. Grab literally a forest. Cycle Decree. And Volcanic Spray is a sorcery, so that doesn't matter. I'm gonna pay. Yep, they concede. Okay, they see it. They see the lethal. We win. What do we do post board versus this deck? Probably not Sliver Queen. Maybe this is a Sliver Queen matchup. Who knows? A Sphere of Law is preventative of red damage. I don't care about that. Humility. Doesn't affect their manlands. It makes their Call of the Herds bad. Maybe they have a Roar of the Worm. Terravors get pretty bad. But they play Decree. Not Decree. Ray of Revelation. I don't know if that's the angle I want to take. Annul's probably pretty good. They've got to have Sylvan Library. Maybe even Oath. I didn't see the Meddling Mage game one. So they might be an Oath deck. So I could consider Annul. I could consider some number of Red Blast because of their Quiet spec. But not too many. Perk Deed is like fine. I think 3 of those is fine though, right? Maybe T-Crypt for the Terravor, although that never works out the way you want it to. Though they are playing spec, so. Chat, do I side in this Sliver Queen? But are they playing Terravor Armageddon? I'm certain they're playing Armageddon. If they're not, I think it's actually just a deck building issue. So here's the thing about these Annuls. That's 7 cards that I'm thinking about maybe bringing in, and I don't know if I have bad cards in this deck, which is really weird to say about this 5-color pile. Are the Chromatic Spheres load-bearing? They might be. Global Ruin seems like fine at best. Maybe I'm not going to play Global Ruin versus their Mox Diamond deck. Allied Strategy seems awesome. Tusker seems awesome. Decree seems awesome. Collapsing Border seems like fine at best. It's a lot of mana to invest into something that they can just like deal with for a mana. Gaia's Blessing seems unnecessary, although it does like, it's a really good follow-up to a, what do you call it? A Quiet Speculation. Maybe cut like 1 sphere. Maybe just like try cutting these 3 cards and like bring in like 2 Annul plus Tormod Crypt. I don't know. Something like that. We're going to try this, guys. Submit. Yeah, Stoneforge, I agree. I think our opponent was playing around their own Armageddon. So this hand has Phyrexian Furnace, which is really good. We can't cast any of our spells, but we're on the draw. Drawing 1 land unlocks Tusker, which unlocks white or blue, whichever comes first. I'm going to keep this hand. I could see it working out where this is the type of hand you just mulligan with this deck. But this Krosan Tusker is tricking me into wanting to keep it, so we're going to. Windswept Heath, that's fine. Fetch, I'm F6, buddy. Plains, Diamond, what else is new? Second Diamond, sure. You've got to Call of the Herd. All right, so these Call of the Herds are going to be bad. We've got these Swords to Plowshares, but we can't convert them yet. So that was a very good opener from opponent. If they don't have a follow-up land, I actually feel like it might be okay, but for now, we're just getting this Furnace into play, and we're gonna eat the bottom and pass. If they go another land, an elephant, we're in a bit of trouble here. But it's a tap land, so we can exile the elephant. Do they have a Terravore? We'll see. They just attack, sure. Second Call of the Herd in hand, is that where we're at? Quiet Spec, sure. Best top deck of the year would be a Tormod's Crypt. Crypt off the top, obviously, exactly. Stoneforge, that's all we've ever wanted. They're for sure just supposed to get Deep Anal Call. Maybe they're not playing the Roar. If they have the Roar, it's Deep Anal Roar, and that's how they should pile it. Here, they're just passing the turn. They got no other action. My turn, take a draw, Crypt off the top. Damn, so close so far. We've got a white source though, and that's meaningful. They can do 2 of those things. I guess they could double Deep Anal, and that would be pretty cool. I'm thinking that maybe I'm just supposed to Tsabo's Web and keep them off of the mana to do that though. So we're gonna fetch, we're gonna grab a basic Plains. Tap 2, here's a Tsabo's Web. Trigger the web, I'll draw a Chromatic Sphere. We'll do this now. Pass the turn. Now they'll need to naturally draw the land, or they'll at least have to go Deep Anal, draw land, Deep Anal if they want to go that route. And then we've got the swords for the first elephant. Then it comes down to like, how are we handling the rest of what they're going to be doing? All right, Deep Anal resolves. You've got 3, you're at 16. Luckily, our deck is highly interested in the game going super long, so them getting a bunch of deep Anals will hopefully walk us into that direction. Tap 2 more, it's got to be another deep, right? Yep. They cast 2 Deep Anals. They're still not keeping up on card advantage though. I mean, they've got more mana resources in play than we do, but Lord, if I do something as simple as draw Pernicious Deed, this gets really tough for them. Attack for 3 with an Elephant, that seems good. I think we're getting a blue source off this Tusker unless we draw like something crazy. Collective Restraint will be good later. For now, we're gonna play this Forest. We're gonna activate this Phyrexian Furnace. We're gonna Munch, and then we're simply going to pass the turn. Opponent says BRB, that's fine. See, that's how you leave your opponent. You let them know you're walking away for a minute. Good manners, thank you, the Weaver. Let's see here. What are we trying to dodge? If our opponent Armageddon's, it's lights out, we can go to the next game. Opponent's gotta go, sorry, GG's. All right, that's fine, GG's. Hard to say who would have won that game, but I won game 1 and opponent left, so we're calling that a win. This so far, from what we've seen, it was going to be a cool match depending on draws. Yeah, I can't say who was going to win for sure. That was one of those games where we had a lot of Magic left to play. So far, just from what I saw in that matchup, I feel like I have an inherent advantage versus Terrageddon. We're going to play some more games with this deck. The nice thing about our opponent just like randomly leaving is that this deck probably takes forever to get matches with. So even though we only got game 1 and part of game 2 there, we might have time to do like a full 3 games in this stream, because this deck takes like a lot of time to play. We found an opponent and we keep winning the die rolls, which is brutally unfair. We're going to be on the play. This hand goes green, black, white with green, white fetch, but we have Chromatic Sphere plus Factor Fic. Hand's not particularly strong, but we're close enough to domain to want to keep it. Yeah, how do we feel about a single Resolve Goblin Lackey with this deck? Plowshares are bust. Post board Blue Blast Plowshares seems like a reasonable amount of action. We're going to go Forest, I think is our most important land. Tap it for a Furnace and then just pass. There's a mountain. I thought we were about to find out, but it's just a Lava Mancer, which is less good when I have a turn 1 Phyrexian Furnace. But this could be Sly, which is probably one of our tougher matchups. There's a Krosan Tusker. That'll be good later, not right this second. We'll go Swamp, tap it, Chromatic Sphere, and then we will pass the turn. I wonder how often we have on-tap blue-white on turn 1. It's going to depend. We can run the quick maths in a second. We're just attacking for 1, right? Yeah, for sure. We're just attacking for 1. Swamp. So we're not playing against Slide. This might be Machine Head. Ravenous Rats. Sure. Because we have the Tusker, I think we can pitch the Windswept Heath. Goodbye, Windswept Heath. Go to end step. We'll Furnace nobody. I could crack my Chromatic Sphere. I don't think I need to. I might want the mana eventually. So we'll take an on-tap, a draw. It's another Factor Fiction. That'll be quite good as long as we don't get therapied. And then we will ship the turnover and plan to use our Krosan Tusker to get blue. While our opponent's doing their thing, let's actually look into your question. How often can we have turn 1 blue or white? White, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 white sources, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 white sources. And for blue sources, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 and 10. In matchups where it matters, I think we've got a solid chance at finding that. Is it good? I wouldn't say so, but we can mulligan for it. Our opponent goes to combat, attacks for 2, I assume. Youch, I take the 2. Luckily, they haven't seen blue yet, so they might not know what to Cabal Therapy. If our opponent code calls this Cabal Therapy, I'm so sure they're looking at the stream, which would be weird because this is a practice game. They're probably supposed to, in this spot, hit like Swords to Plowshares. If they name Foff, that's like they're for sure watching the stream. And if that's the case, I can't even get mad. It's like, what are you doing? This is a practice game. We're just doing some exhibition games. If they hit Tusker, that would just be heads up as hell. That would be amazing. Now they're going to be able to copy this Cabal Therapy, and that's going to be a pain in the ass. We're certainly in the tank about it. Very true. Name swords. Makes sense. They have to copy it right away or I'm going to eat it with the furnace. We do have 2 Foffs though, so that's bad for us. They're going to be able to hit those right now. All right, they're hitting us with the Cabal Therapy. We do need to get rid of this. That way we have blue eventually. So we're going to cycle this. We're going to use the ability. We're going to go grab us a island. Then we're going to draw us a card. And that's 2 islands. Okay. These Fact or Fictions are not long for this world though. Any order into the bin. Now this is a matchup that's probably much tougher for us. Hand Disruption seems like a great way to attack this deck. Mishra's Factory is fine. Where's my Tsabo's Web? They're going to play Curse Scroll. That's fine. I'm just going to Furnace them real quick. You have a Curse Scroll. Red for a second Curse Scroll. 2 of them doesn't really do anything, but we'll on-tap. Now Pernicious Deed's super live. Evasive Action is going to be reasonable. For now, I'm just going to hold up Cracking Sphere in Furnace. We do have +2 on the board right now. Sulphurous Spring, sure. Please don't play I guess play anything that I can counter with Evasive Action. If they want to play like Blazing Spectre, that's fine. I'm pretty certain this is Machine Head. All right, we're taking one about it. That's fine. Black, colorless, Hypnotic Spectre. Let's start by tapping for green and cracking this sphere for white. Evasive Action. Then let's crack this using our white to hit our sphere. And now we could Pernicious Deed the hippie, but we'll have to lose a card about it first. No, we'll go ahead and Evasive Action this hippie. Then they pass, that's great. We draw Swords to Plowshares, which is obviously awesome. We'll play this island. We will tap Island, Swamp, and Green Source for Pernicious Deed. And then we're gonna blow the deed now on 1. Goodbye, all of my opponent's value. Now, we have the Swords to Plowshares, so hopefully our opponent just turns their factory sideways and that's their turn. Here comes the factory. We might even take the pain out this factory and Swords at end step, just in case our opponent has a hippie in hand. Let's do it that way. They go to end step. Okay, they don't have anything, so now we'll gladly Swords to Plowshares the Mistress Factory. On tap with a counter spell in our hands, and hopefully just start drawing some gas. Rampant Growth doesn't count as gas, but it doesn't count as nothing. We'll get a basic mountain and get on domain. And then pass the turn. Now we have what functions as exactly counterspell, and our opponent only has 2 cards in hand. But we are going to be a little bit picky about what we use counterspell on. All right, go to our turn, on tap. I believe we're playing 4 Fact or Fiction, so we've got oodles of good top decks, and I love going into a draw-go game with this deck. Black, colorless, Ravenous Rats. Yeah, I just don't want them to have the material. All Evasive Action. If that was like a creature that didn't make me discard a card, I wouldn't bother, but I don't want to discard my swords, and it's better to use the Evasive Action than it is to discard it. All right, we're both got 1 card in hand. I've got more lands. On tap draw. Gaia's Blessing. Well, we're doing that. Green, blue, Gaia's Blessing. Me. I'm going to get back Fact or Fiction. And do we want Evasive Action, Pernicious Deed? I think Perk Deed, right? And Pernicious Deed. And then we draw Global Ruin, which we can't quite cast. But when we do cast it, they're going to sacrifice 3 lands, and I'm going to sacrifice 1. Seems really good for me. Don't arrest me, you fucker. 1, 2, 3, 4, Blazing. Perfect. This worked out exactly the way we wanted it to. Swords to Plowshares, the Blazing Spectre. Good night, Machine Head. I'm coming. All right, on tap, draw. Almost don't even care what I draw here. It's a forest. Okay, boop, 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 boop. Global Ruin. This is going to let them keep Swamp Mountain. I'm going to keep everything but an island. Then I'll just play my forest and pass. We'll both play off the top for some more, but I've got 4 Fact or Fictions and the 5 mana draw 5 in my deck. Seems like a solid place to be. I'll keep a forest. I'll keep a swamp. I'll keep a plains. I'll keep an island, and I will keep a mountain. Done. Cool. Here's a forest, and I will pass the turn. They're just passing back. They're right to keep playing the game here. I don't have any cards in hand. There's a Perk Deed. Green, white, red. Can't do it that way. Green, white, blue, or green, white, black. Pernicious Deed. Go. Your deck not good at dealing with a resolved Pernicious Deed. Passing to me, I'll take my turn. Sword, sure. Pass. Tap for a red Bolt Me, makes sense. They do have some reach with their Lavamancers and Bolts, so that's something to keep in mind. Black, Duress Me? Yeah, you got my swords. Kind of doesn't matter because I have Pernicious Deed in hand. Curse Scroll, sure. We might pop that when they develop their 3rd land. Allied Strategies, that's not fair. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Allied Strategies, draw 5. Good luck, opponent. Green, Chromatic Sphere. You go. This seems kind of crazy. Now I just want a second white source to hardcast Decree of Justice. Our opponent's definitely playing 3 Curse Scrolls. Are they just Dark Ritual to Curse Scroll me? Oh, they're playing Lavaborn Muse. That's fine. All right, we'll untap, take nothing because we've got 4 in hand. This turn is like super easy. We're just gonna go crack this for a white, tapping a white. Doesn't really matter. Draw a card. Then we're gonna crack this Pernicious Deed on 1, 2, 3, 4. Goodbye, everything. And then we'll just pass. Now we've got Evasive Action up. We've got Decree of Justice. So we've got our win condition wrapped up as well. Tap for a black. Are we duressing my win condition? If it's a duress, I'll counter it. If it's a Cabal Therapy, I'll probably let it go. Cabal Therapy, I'll let it go. You have to cold call what I have. I don't think you can name half the cards in my deck. Names Allied Strategies. I've already used that card. I guess opponent has no way to know that I only have 1. They're passing to us. I know what we're doing. How many angels can I make right now? We need 4 for the base. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I can make 2. I think we're gonna do that. Let's get another island and then cast this 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2 angels. All right, go. I have win conditions. Pass to me. Amazing. Now I have win conditions and counter magic backup. Go to combat, attack with everything, take 8. I'll tap a forest, play Chromatic Sphere. You go. Yeah, I think we've got this rolled up. We're pretty much finished here. Our opponent's just going through the motions. Tap for a red, lightning bolt me. I don't care. Pass to me. That's fine. Untap, draw. All right, go to combat, attack with everything. I'm going to keep this land in hand just to like fade, I don't know, Lavaborn Muse or whatever. We're just passing. We've got lethal in play. We can counter any way they have to remove our angels. They should concede here. Rats resolves. Yeah, they concede. Great. All right, how are we sideboarding against Machine Head? Pernicious Deed seems to be a great option. Humility also seems like a fine option. Maybe Humility. Sphere of Law, I'm a little wishy-washy on Sphere of Law. It's really just Bolt and Grim Lavamancer. Enlightened Tutor, maybe because we're bringing in Humility. Annul, do I really want to annul a Curse Scroll when I can clean it up with Perk Deed? I don't think so. There are no blue cards in our opponent's deck. Pernicious Deed seems good. I don't think this or this are good. Maybe Humility, Enlightened Tutor, and Perk Deed? Because bringing in Enlightened Tutor plus Perk Deed is like having 5 Perk Deeds in our deck, which should be quite good. What is not good against our opponent? We know they have Mishra's Factory, but that's got to be their only utility land, right? Is it worth having Web just for that? I mean, the Web does draw us a card. That said, it seems like a fine place to cut from as well. Collapsing Borders also looks really good in this matchup for obvious reasons. They have Reach and it just gains his life and they can't deal with this permanent type. They don't have Blue Blast. I kind of like all my cards, which is a little bit clunky. I guess we're going to go ahead and remove a Tsabo's Web and then like Chromatic Sphere. And then like maybe I just don't bring in the E-Tutor because I'm not looking that hard for anything. Or maybe I just don't bring in the Humility. I don't know. Perk D plus Enlightened Tutor? I guess so. All right, submit. This deck feels hilarious. I'm actually pretty pumped about this. All right, our opener is 2. All right, we have our first have Rampant Growths in hand, can't convert them hand. We've got 3 green cards. So if we look at this hand as if the green cards didn't exist, our 4 looks reasonable. We've got Swords for turn 1 Hippie. We've got Evasive Action. We need to draw a green source in the next 1, 2. So we've got 1 draw step, play land, 2 draw step, play land, 3rd draw step. We need it in 3 draw steps to find a green source. What does the math look like on that? 11 green sources within plus Chromatic Sphere. Chromatic Sphere would also do it. So 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 green sources within 53 cards. I don't think we're horribly likely to find it. That said, we've got the out to the turn 1 Hippie, which is meaningful. We can cast and like we have the ability to just remove a turn 1 Hippie. I'm going to keep this. My stomach's telling me it's wrong, but I think things could work out. I mean, it's one of those things where I'm just taking a big risk. Maybe I'm only willing to take the risk because I won game 1. But my gut's telling me you're not supposed to keep this because I've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I've got 15 green sources, which seems like a reasonable amount, but they just duress. Okay, that's fine. That means the game's gonna go nice and slow and we've got more time than I thought. If this didn't have white source to Plowshares, there's no way we keep it. But one of the things this deck can do is go Dark Ritual Hippie, and there's gonna be a lot of, permeations of 6, 5, and 7 card hands that either don't have the swords or don't have a way to quickly cast it, and then you lose the swords to the Hippie because say you're trying to get your white source off of Rampant Growthing for a Plains. They took a Rampant Growth, which doesn't make any sense because I can't cast it, so that duress didn't do anything. We draw a Flooded Strand. That's not a green source, but it's a mana source, so I'm not gonna... Beggars can't be choosers. We'll play a Plains and pass. Evasive Action is gonna be doing its best misdirection impression here. Ravenous Rats, I will pitch Gaea's Blessing. They're going to pass. I'm just going to play an island. Oh, we found our green source. Do we care about what they're going to do on 3? I don't think so. Windswept Heath, fetch. All right, confirmation bias. That keep is 100% sound. Tap for 2. Rampant Growth. We just want a red source here, I think. Well, black, I think, is more important in this matchup, actually, just because of perk deed. So we'll grab a swamp. All right, now we've got nearly our domain wrapped up. We've got 2 of our best cards in the matchup in hand. They know about them. So if they have a Cabal Therapy, they could go Therapy, sack Rats Therapy. But then we have, 4 Factor Fictions in our deck, and we're at 18 life, so I don't hit our spot still. Oh, they're just playing Hippie? Well, I just have swords, so here we go, wahoo. Untap draw, it's a forest, play an island, pass to you. Declare attacks is fine. All right, swords to Plowshares Hippie. I'll take the 1. There's a Bloodstained Mire, we're fetching. I wonder what we're playing here on 4. Or are we like double spelling? Bolt me? Sure. All right, main phase bolt, that's an interesting one. Untap and draw. It's a Rampant Growth. We'll play forest, tap swamp, cast Rampant Growth, get mountain, and then pass the turn. Now we're just in a race to draw Factor Fiction or collective draw 5 cards, whatever the hell the name of that card is. All right, opponent's going for like damage kill, but we have still just so much time. Go to combat, attack for 1. I take 1, land, pass, great. Untap draw, Krosan Tusker. What if I play this? That's dumb, right? Yeah, I think that's dumb. Flooded Strand, pass the turn. Combat attack for 1 is fine. I'll go to 9. I'm also going to go to 8 because I want to fetch before I cycle this Tusker. I want to get a basic Plains. Tap for 3 Hippie. I think we'll do this all first. Fetch, get another Plains. Tap for green, tap for green, tap for red. Cycle the Tusker, use the ability, go grab a island, I think is what we want. Yeah, an island. And then draw the card off the Tusker. It's a Rampant Growth, so we do want to Evasive Action this Hippie. All right, deck, you just need to start drawing us some card draw, or this Decree of Justice is fine too. Do we just play this Decree of Justice? What's up, Neon? It's mail day. You should see the primo selection of cards I've got on my desk for 2018 Modern Cube. Oh boy, that's awesome. What you got? List shit. All right, we'll play an island. How many angels can we make? 4? I mean, I'm gonna make 4 angels. Beat this. I don't know. Go. The way that they beat this is they simply play Grim Lava or Lavaborn Muse. That would kill us pretty quickly because it deals 3 every time. So it would take me 2 turns to get out of it. Then Bolt's super lethal. Wait, Real Bad Tech, are you in the Discord groups? Just post it. Is your mail day posted? Can I look at it now? Tap for 5. What costs 5? Skeletal Scrying for 4. That's pretty good. We like that. Now you're on a 2-turn clock though. I think we're just gonna try to turn the corner. On tap draw, a counter spell would be perfect. Okay, cool. I drew it. Go to combat, attack. Basically, I'm not countering anything that doesn't either kill us or kill an angel. I'm gonna keep the Rampant Growth in hand just in case they have like the rack randomly. I'll do a post in there and get it on there. Yeah, post that mail day. That's awesome. Very exciting stuff. Terminate, I assume. That's a stupor. Well, we're countering that. Blue, red, evasive action. No, you will not stupor me. Hippie as a blocker. We love to see that. Hi, Niam. What deck do you think is stronger today? Machine Head or Dead Guy? Machine Head by a New York mile, man. Machine Head is just better at utilizing Dark Ritual, in my opinion. Machine Head is also like, it's got reach where Dead Guy Al doesn't. I think if you're trying to sling Gerard's Verdicts and Vindicates, you should probably be playing Black-White Control. Now let's think here about what happens if I swing out. They attack for 1, 2, 3 off the Mishra's Factory. That brings me to 4. Bolt doesn't kill me. They would need 2 things to kill us. I'm gonna go for the kill here. We attack, they have to block with Hippie. Damage, you go to 4. I have 2 lethal flying attackers. The onus is on them to be able to kill us right now. If they can't, the game's over. I mean, either way, we're both only getting 1 more turn. Either this is their last turn or my last turn was my last turn. That's the way this cookie is gonna crumble. Watch them Earthquake us for lethal. Honestly, so much respect of our, no, they can't. They're at 4 life, that won't work. All right, we're both at 4 opponent. What are we doing? You got Bolt. We've already seen 2 bolts. Curse Scroll won't do it. 4 mana Lavaborn Muse, that doesn't kill me. Now, Lavaborn Muse plus Bolt does. So if they have their 3rd Bolt, we're dead here. Curse Scroll, nope, good game, opponent. That was very well played, but I have enough action. On tap, take 3 to the Lavaborn Muse. Opponent just on the outside looking in. Go to combat, attack with all creatures. They concede. GG's. That was close. I feel like this matchup is probably close to maybe even advantaged by the, oh, look at that. There's my folder. By the Machine Head player because they can kind of attack what we're doing, but we just kind of had the tools to get there. We're going to do at least 1 more matchup. All right, we're going into our what I think is going to be our last game, and we won the die roll again. We've been winning so many die rolls these last couple days. We'll keep, but we won't keep necessarily, but we'll play. We will not keep this hand. It's got 1 land, so that's a mulligan. This hand is perk deed, no black sources, but we've got 4 lands and an evasive action. I think we're kind of priced into keeping this. As far as what we're putting back, could be a land, could be a perk deed. I think it'll just be a land. It'll be a, you know what? No, cancel that. Cancel that. We've got white, blue. We're only looking for black mana, but we've got 2 perk deeds. Might make more sense to put a perk deed back and just like lean on our domain plan. We'll play a Flooded Strand. I think we're going to fetch for a blue straight away. Again, we're interested in getting domain, so a Stifle would be more devastating than usual against our fetches. So we're just going to grab an island and pass. We're getting island first because we're going to have evasive action up on turn 2. Caves duress me? That'd be tough. Dark Writ, please don't hippie me. Okay, sure. Yeah, Phyrexian Arena is fine. It's not like great, but this game is going to go long. The problem is going to be if they start to see a bunch of Gerard's verdicts, that's going to be a pain in the ass. This Pernicious Deed, if I ever find a black source, will clean it up. But we have to do it all at once because Disenchant and Vindicate are both factors in this matchup. Let's just play a Flooded Strand and pass the turn. You lose a life and draw card, sure. Swamp Gerard's verdict me? Don't you do it. All right, fetch. We're just going to counter this. I don't have the card advantage to just be letting cards like that resolve. Tap for 2, evasive action, target Gerard's verdict. Please cut that out. Now, the fact that we're having to counter Gerard's verdict with a resolved Phyrexian Arena actually is very bad news for us. All right, we're going to end step, untap, draw black source. Yes. All right, so we unfortunately are not going to be able to get to the point where we can just hold this Pernicious Deed up. We didn't play a green source early, so we're going to play the black source. Let them think we're some weird Esper deck, and then like hope they just never draw Vindicate or Duress. If they duress us, we may actually concede in response. I've got a Premodern event coming up at the end of the month, thinking about running back my 4-color Reanimator special. That sounds dope. You should definitely do that. Are we Vindicating or are we Verdicting? We're Verdicting, that's sad. Okay, that's fine. We'll pitch Mountain plus Swords, I guess. It's not great. Dead Guy, probably one of the decks that has the tools to take us down, unfortunately. We draw a sword, so let's go Forest. Let's go boop, boop, boop. Play Pernicious Deed. Hope they don't have Disenchant. Hope they don't have Vindicate. Those are both tall-ass orders right now. And then we'll pass the turn. And even if this deed survives, we're looking at just trading it for an arena, which isn't great. If we start drawing Factor Fictions, that's how we buy back into this game. The secret ingredient is Iridescent Angel. Nobody can deal with that card. True. Yeah, it's Edict or Bust. All right, we're not going to sit here and do this with our opponent for the next 6 turns before they finally resolve like a hippie and kill us. We're going to go straight to the sideboard and see what options we have access to. Annul. We can hit Furnace. What else can we hit? Or not Furnace, but Arena. I don't know if there's enough that we can hit with that. That said, we're not playing Disenchant effects because we're on Pernicious Deeds, so that's a little bit clunky. What definitely don't we want? Tormod's Crypt, Red Blast. Humility seems poor against the main deck Disenchant deck. All these white cards seem bad. Sliver Queen looks like it's going to die to everything. So it's like Pernicious Deed and Annuls are the only things we're even mildly interested in. Let's go ahead and Tsabo's Web is bad. So we're going to take out a Tsabo's Web for a Pernicious Deed. Then it becomes how many Annuls can we try to put in our deck? And I don't know if we actually want Annul. No, that seems wrong. We're just going to bring in this 4th Pernicious Deed and jam. I won the die roll. I would love to play first. This has the green source. It has the red source. It has the black source. It has the Chromatic Sphere. So we can cast Factor Fiction off the back of that, but no white sources. Are we keeping this on the power level of keeping 7 against a Duress deck for starters? And Chromatic Sphere? I think so. We'll keep. Any Rampant Growths or Krosan Tuskers we draw are going to be free real estate. So we'll go Forest, tap it, Chromatic Sphere, pass turn. Plains, nothing. Love to see that. We want a nice slow game. Flooded Strand, we found a blue source, so we'll play the Flooded Strand, and we're just gonna chill until we can try to Factor Fiction. The first resolve Factor Fiction probably gets close to winning us the game. Now, if this is a Duress, that's tough beans. They're just gonna hit our Factor Fiction here. There's 4 of them in our deck, and we're a Gaia's Blessing deck, so not panicking about it yet. Goodbye, Factor Fiction, I'm gonna miss you. All right, we're passing. I'm not even gonna bother fetching. We're just gonna untap and draw. It's a white source, that's really good to know. I don't need to show it to my opponent just yet, so we'll just play out a black source and continue to chill. Little Tainted Field action. We got our first actual threat coming down, or is it just an arena? It's a hippie. Okay, so here I'm interested in cycling through my sphere if for no other reason to get the card now. I'm not gonna Wrath of God just a hippie, no matter how bad it seems like I need to. We just want to try to find swords and deal with it that way. We're going to grab an island because I can't afford to get plains and give up on island, I don't think. Tap for blue, and we're going to add a white here. All right, we should have done that with the, I just realized we could have drawn a counter spell. We could have countered that hippie. Chat, we're so stupid. All right, we've got a white source. We're just going to sit here and contend with this hippie that we didn't have to contend with. We could have drawn that Evasive Action with that on the stack. Neon, in your opinion, what's the best deck that uses hippies? I recently bought them. I'm thinking about which deck I will use them in. Moneyball Black, the mono black deck that won the CPS League. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go to MTG Top 8 and look for the CPS League 3-star event. It's the black deck that won first place in the most recent one. I think that deck is actively good. All right, I'll take 2. Let's not discard. Let's discard Not Mountain. Okay, Decree, sure. Probably the worst card in our hand. Tap for a black, a white, Phyrexian. Why did I let that resolve? No, I clicked through. I was supposed to counter that. I think I gave up all hope when the hippie came down and I just misclicked. That sucks. Well, this is awful. We would actually be in a fine spot here if we had countered that, because now it feels like we kind of got to just do what we kind of got to do. So we're gonna Wrath of God this hippie, and we just punted the game. That's tough. All right, we're F6 in a bunch. Now we just want to find like Fact or Fiction into Fact or Fiction and to draw a billion cards into like 2 for 1 our opponent 7 times in a row and win that way. Unlikely, because we have none of that going on at the moment. And an Exalted Angel is going to ruin our day. 3 for a hippie, sure. We didn't have to be in this spot. Red source, go. Yep, you got it. Draw a card. White, black, Gerard's Verdict. Do we let this go? Just let them gain 6? I guess so. Pitch Forest. Any order. Wait, no, and we're gonna discard the Evasive Action anyway. We have punted this game. I'm gonna give it one more draw step to see if we draw 5, and that's like a way to buy back into this game. But the one punt led to a tilt, leaned into more punts, and now I'm ruining the reputation of this beautiful deck that I just had built. That's a Fact or Fiction. Do we go for the swords now? Yeah, it kind of feels like we just do that. Probably tap like that. Fact or Fiction, there's the swords. There's no way it's a 1-4 pile. You should at least put the swamp with the swords, because they're running off the back of the power of a hippie. If they pile it like this, we're actually gonna probably leave the swords on the table and take the deed pile and not play anything and see if they don't have duress and we can randomly keep deed. Maybe that's a way back into this game. I don't like it. This game, if I hadn't punted twice in a row, we probably had the tools to win. Instead, I ruined it. It all started with a misclick. All right, yep, you draw a card, you lose a life. Our deck tried to help us like 4 times too. This is definitely on me. Okay, that'll do. I'm gonna call that. That was fun. This deck, very cool. I don't even think our Dead Guy Ale matchup is that bad. I think I just punted game 2. If I had to guess, maybe the Dead Guy Ale matchup is like slightly on advantage because of all their hand disruption and their fast mana and stuff, but I think we've got the tools to play the matchup. This deck was sweet. I'm gonna build this in paper if for no other reason to have so many sick oil basics in play at once of all different kinds, but for today, I gotta get this video out on Fluorescent, which is maybe where you watch this, and if you did, make sure to check out the streams. The information is in the description. But that's, oh, before I go, the one last plug. Here is some cool images. You can't see this on the stream, you can see this on Fluorescent Fungus, of the prizing from the Pandemonium Premodern Championships, the Summer Champs. That is on the 23rd, that's this Saturday, and that's going to be $15 entry, 1 p.m. The prizing is awesome. We've got these cool plaques. We got some Albano Corsi art. I did a bunch of the cool text-based altars over the top of all the cards for the placements and stuff. And we've got some really cool, we got like an Apocalypse pack going to first as well. It's gonna be a cool event. So if you're anywhere in Michigan, please come out, say hi. I'll be recording. Maybe you can be on the channel if we get paired up. But for today, that's all I have for you. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I will see you next time.